I think I'll start this job without coffee.
Oh, faces there, some bitch. We'll just hear universal forward tools. Yeah.
And now we're just gonna add a little bit of coffee. There we go.
I need more!
It's gonna be a standard or metric? Standard or metric? I don't know!
I'll never let go, Jack. I'll never let go.
Have you lost your mind?
Hi, bitch.
Oh, yeah!
Say hello to my little friend! What you're looking at is state-of-the-art cutting technology!
Look at that greatness! Yeah! eBay!
If you need a lift, there's one right behind me.
Oh, yeah!
That is fun. Shit. That's not good. So there's where my old one's set. Yeah, looks like that, nice and round. I made sure to smack it so that way it'd leave a cool impression on my condenser there. And so I went up to the store and I said, hey man, it's a 16-inch, what do you got? And he said, I got China, man, that's what I have. So I was like, cool. So the good news is this is 12 volts, alright? Now, I can get really technical with the data sheet there, and I don't care if anyone wants to really look at that, but yeah, that's all the specifics, all the information, so that way you can kind of see it. And if you care what my part number is, where the hell's the part number? Damn it. Oh, there's the part number right there. Yep. I just walked into whatever the hell auto store I was in and just bought this. He said, yeah, man. So the thing is with DC motors is you hook them up backwards and they spin the wrong way. This is a very critical tip. You want air, the way this is designed is the air to go that way. I'm at the front of the vehicle. See, this is a fat ass Winnebago, okay? So, but air always goes that way, and the way this is designed is you want airflow to continue flowing that way into the internal fan. There's a big ass mechanical clutch fan that's the primary, that's your standard bolts up, it sits on the inside of this, and then of course this is just our secondary, also known as your auxiliary. So and the biggest thing is to do, and this is thermostat controlled, okay? So without getting into too many specifics, when this engine reaches a specific temperature amount, this sends juice down this wire. One is the ground, and the other one is, if you look closely, you could just see this one's going to be my ground, and the one that has the red stripe is going to be my hot. So common sense says land the blue, and I'll have to choppy since this doesn't match, no big deal, but blue will go to my stripe red, and then I'll test it, get my engine nice and hot, and just observe it kick on. So just make sure it's blowing inward, not blowing air outward, because that would create problems. This video is not made for aftermarket upgrades. This video is for direct replacement on the wiring. I just want to mention that. So if you already have a clutch fan and you're trying to change this out, it's a lot harder because you have to add in a relay, and I do have another video on that. But for this video, this is just replacement.
No shit, Sherlock!
Hey, look at that. Thing just goes right in there. I'll show you. Oh, real easy. Yeah, you just take it and stick it on there, okay? Just like that. Oh, God. Here we go. And then we're going to use these little pads, and we're going to put it on the inside so the shaking doesn't cause fucking son. Alright, so here we have the, let's say male end and the female end. Okay, so if this is your first time ever doing it, it's not exactly easy. You got to go through the condenser and the radiator both, and condenser seems to be a little bit more tighter quarters, I guess is the right word. But yeah, that one's not going to go through because it's mashed right there. So hey, what are the odds? So I'll just move it over a little bit, and I will ram it through with one hand. Real men, ram it in. They don't take no for an answer. Okay, so for me to properly secure this with these these straight zip ties, I have to do this the right way, and I have to go on the inside of the condenser, in between where the condenser sits and the actual reservoir is, the radiator itself is, and I have to put these inward, okay? And so for me to do that, I had to loosen. Can you see how that's loose? And I pulled up. Now every design is going to be different. This is a Chevrolet, 90 Chevrolet, and anyways, you just basically push it on like that, and it's just a zip tie, and it crimps on, because you don't want the wind to the turbulence from this fan to kick on, because it'll actually push away and it won't force the air inward. And if it can't push that air inward toward the engine, it's not really doing much. So for me to do this the right way, I only do things the right way, right? That's why I don't have many friends. I don't hang out with people that don't do things right. That's probably why I have no friends. Nah. Alright, that was dumb. I have no friends because I have no social life. Other than my brother. He's a good guy. Brothers count as friends, right? Or too big of a title. I don't know. Okay, and I did want to mention this. For those of you who don't know, the condenser is one of the components in which your AC system functions. Now, my AC for my actual not the cab part, but the part that blows out where the front is, where it drives off of the belt, it pushes the pump, and etc. Well, not to confuse it, but since this is an RV, I do have an overhead AC that is completely separate from this. But let's go back to this. Okay, now I could help my whole system out if I chose to just get rid of this condenser, but I don't have the proper tools to evacuate this system properly without blowing into the atmosphere. Now I'm trying to set a good example since I'm on the internet, right? So everyone on YouTube are good people, right? We all mean well. Just remember, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But my defense is, my air conditioner doesn't work coming out of my vents where the driver and the passenger sits, but I plan to look into that and see what I could do about getting it working. Otherwise, I would just pull this out, and I can't just pull it out so I can install this, because all those air conditioner lines are attached, and for me to do that, it would require a lot more labor. Alright, so here we go. I decided to pull the old pigtail off the old one. I just cut it, and you're supposed to have the least amount of connections, just for resistance in a circuit, but we're not going to get into that. But I prefer, instead of hacking into this, I wanted to keep as much original as possible. It's just, I prefer to do it that way. You never know what'll come down later the line, Never know what else I'll try to put on here, but yeah, now I'm just going to simply cut this, and I'm going to splice it with that. Oh, see, here we go. I did it like this after all. See, that'll go my factory end, and it'll go like that. Yeah, it's just better if you solder it, but you know what? I've been in this weird not give a fuck mood for a while, so I'm just gonna roll with this. Yeah, I actually redid it because how close they are sitting together in the pigtail. And I use double crimpers. Double crimpers are good because you just can't mess it up quite as easy. There we go. Just make sure all your connections are really tight. If they're loose, it'll create heat in the circuit, and you'll have melting connections. You don't want that. It's a bad day. So black to black for mine, and blue to red. Now every application is going to be different, and if this is correct, the fan should draw the wind inwards. Now I'm just going to clean this up and go on from there. Alright, there she is. Kind of sounds like a jet engine when it took off. I thought it was the tornado sirens, and I was like looking out the window, and I'm like, oh, huh.